I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to our eye makeup tips and tricks class. And so many of you have already typed your name in the chat. If you haven't done so, make sure you do that because I'm giving away one of my favorite eyeshadows of all time. It's called Crystalline. It's this light, kind of shimmery highlight color. Try and show it to you a little better. It's so pretty. My gosh, so pretty. Okay, so welcome Ruth. We have Ruth on. Welcome. We have Rachel. Hello. And another Ruth. We have two Ruths on. So, so far, all the names have started with the letter R. I like that because so does mine. welcome. I love Ruth. They're saying. Everyone's saying hello to each other. I love it. Christine, welcome. And Leslyn, so glad you're here. So today I'm going to talk about eye makeup tips and tricks. I'm going to go over different eye shadows to use based on your eye color to help that pop. Based on our makeup artist recommendations. I'm also going to talk about where to put the brush based on your eye shape too, like your eyelid shape, because everyone has slightly different eyelids. And so how to get the eyeshadows to look the best based on that. So, and then after we go through the eyeshadows, and we're mostly talking about like eye makeup, right? I'll talk about my favorite liquid eyeliner and my favorite mascara. I have a couple of them. And then we're going to wrap up. I'm going to give you a chance to think about anyone you'd like to refer. We'll also spin a wheel and find out what the gift with purchase. That way, if you're running low on products for you being on here, you get an extra little gift for being a guest on here and supporting your beauty consultant. And then we'll do our final giveaway at the very end and find out who's going to be our winner of the Crystalline eyeshadow. So, and Joe Tina's watching on Facebook. So glad you're here, Joe Tina. Thanks so much for supporting Donna. Okay, so we are first of all going to go into the different eyeshadows based on your eye color. And so our makeup artists recommend if you have green or hazel eyes, and these color cards are samples that beauty consultants get. So if you live local to your girl, you can go on over and, play around with some makeup. So, or if you don't live local, I mail them your consultant can mail them and walk you through how to use it over Zoom. So this is the colors based on if you have green or hazel eyes to help those colors pop out. So the first one is a sunlit rose color. It has a slight shimmer. You can't really see it. Actually looks matte in the picture, but and it's because there's a glare because there's a plastic covering here. I'm going to keep that covering on. So sorry about that. But that's sunlit rose has a little bit of a shimmer to it. Merlot is my favorite color. I usually wear that pretty much every day. I'm not wearing it today. I tried some different colors because I thought tonight's the night. Eye makeup tips and tricks. I'm going to try something new. So, well, it's not really new to me, but something different then. So Merlot is a beautiful matte. It's like a dark purple color. I know it kind of looks brown there, but it's more of like a very dark purple. And then this color is Blossom. And this is a highlight. It's matte. It's also really pretty. I like to use Blossom or Biscotti. Blossom's a little lighter than Biscotti. So that's there. And then also something cool about this color card is there's like a blush and there's a lipstick sample as well. Plus it shows you like color by numbers up here, where to put in 1, 2, and 3, where to put your blush if you didn't know, and where to put the lipstick if you weren't sure where the lipsticks went. But I'm joking on that one. But this is the green hazel eye color. And you can get, like consultants, we can get these samples separately as well. Yeah, and I want to do a shout out. Edith is watching. Welcome, Edith. Thanks so much for supporting Sarah. Welcome, Ashley. So glad you're here. That's a pretty tulip emoji. I love that. And Sheena, welcome. My sis-in-law, my sis. Love you. Thanks for being on. So that's the green hazel eyes. Then there's, if you have blue eyes, this is the blue color card. So Cashmere Haze is a beautiful mid-tone color. That's a matte mid-tone. I like my mid-tone to be a matte. So I usually either use Cashmere Haze if I'm going for more grays that day, or I used a soft heather, which is what I'm wearing today if I'm going for more of the purples. And then there's hazelnut, which lately I've been wearing a lot of hazelnut and kind of going with the browns. And so I always pick one of those three as my mid-tone. So that's a great mid-tone. This is Shadow, which I mean, I'm not going to complain about the name, but that's like what eyeshadow do you want? I want shadow. Like, no, what eyeshadow do you want? Shadow. Okay, so it's called shadow because maybe it's the color of your shadow. And then there is Smoky Quartz, which is a shimmery highlight. It's not as light as Crystalline. That's the giveaway I'm doing today for you being on, but that's Smoky Quartz. So those are those. How they have it designed in this picture is it's more of a classic to dramatic look, right? I prefer usually a more natural look. And so what I do for mine, instead of number 1 as the all over eyeshadow, I do the light one as the all over. I can't point in the right spot because everything's backwards. In the all over area. So I do my 3 all over and then my number 1 more in a mid-tone. We'll go into the details here in a second. And then the darkest color I use to create that smoky eye look at the base and then come up halfway to the eyelid. So, and Sabrina, so glad you made it, Sabrina. Welcome. That's blue eyes. Then there's a color card for brown. And for brown eyes, they recommend, and every time I have someone try this, I'm always like, this is like a greenish color. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's like green with a little bit of shimmer. I'm always like, I don't know, that's not my first go-to. But everyone who tries it really loves it. So I'm always surprised. And I think they are too. But this one, they have that hazelnut color. That's that matte brown that I love as a mid-tone. That's hazelnut. And then there is the Emerald Noir. And that's like a dark green with a little bit of shimmer. And then there is Biscotti. I love that name. I'm like, it makes me think of biscotti and I just want to dip it in some chocolate milk or something. But there's Biscotti. There's some, so I think they did a good job naming that. Yeah, so those are some different kind of options, but really as long as you pick a highlight, and a highlight can be a matte or a shimmer as long as it's a lighter color. You pick a mid-tone. I like my mid-tone to be matte, and I usually just pick between hazelnut, soft heather, or cashmere haze. Can't go wrong. And then the accent, do you mean a little darker? I usually wear matte. Today I'm wearing a bit of shimmer. It still kind of looks matte, but I'm wearing Sweet Plum, which used to be my all-time favorite. And I wore it all the time. And then I kind of switched over to all matte. And so I hadn't used it for like really long time. So I used it this morning, but that's a shimmer that you can do, or a matte based on your personality. I feel like as we get older, our eyelids get older looking and matte is a little better. It kind of hides wrinkles a little better. So that's kind of what I've been kind of gearing towards there. So, okay. So then I want to talk about how like makeup shouldn't change what we look like, right? But it can just bring out our already beautiful features. And I love this picture here, like how it brings out her brown eyes. They look darker to me. Like it's amazing how it almost like looks like her eye color is different because of the colors that she's used to make her eyes pop. So I love that with our makeup. Like, and I have Tammy who recently joined. I don't know if Tammy's watching, but she recently joined, and I was like, what do you love the most? And she's like, Mary Kay's makeup is so fantastic. It's so blendable. It's not crazy colors. Like they all look really nice. And I thought, you know what? I haven't tried other makeup in a really long time. So I'm like, this is good to know because I've always loved Mary Kay makeup, but I don't know the other brands and what, other makeup's really out there besides what I've used before I did Mary Kay. But so I think that's great to hear that feedback. And Jotina, now you're hopping on YouTube. Girl, did you get around? She's on Facebook. Now she's on YouTube. Awesome. I know that when you watch on YouTube, I can bring your comments to the screen. On the Facebook, they changed their, I don't know the word, rules or whatever. And anyway, can't do that. Okay. So the next page I'm going to show is determining your eye shape. So if you're by a mirror, go to a mirror and look in the mirror. If your eyes, so standard eyes, you take your eyeball and you can fit your eyeball in between without like going over or not, having extra room. But you can fit an eyeball in between your eyeball. Close set eyes, I'm closed set. So my eyes are closer together, trying to like look in the mirror, or this is not a mirror, but the camera. But I can't really fit another eyeball in between my eyeballs. So that's what close set eyes mean. Wide set eyes is you have an eyeball in between your eyeballs plus extra room. And so they're wider apart. So that's the top row. Deep set eyes, and a lot of this is, genetic, right? Deep set eye, all of this is genetic, actually. You can't really change your eye shape. So deep set, they're deeper, like, it's just more caved in, and you have deeper set eyes. I don't know how to explain that. Hooded eyes is when your eyes are open. You can't really see your eyelids. And so there's a different technique to use for that, so that you're putting most of the color up here and you're going pretty high up by the eyebrow so that your eyeshadows can be seen. And then Asian eyes is for Asians, right? So that's a little about the application tips. I think the Asian one's the hardest to do, like to get that number 3 in just like that. So anyway, but practice, right? And at first, I didn't wear eyeshadow before joining Mary Kate. So this was all new stuff to me. But as I went to a makeup artist training, and as he showed me, and I've been a couple times again, and I'll do one eye and he'll do the other. It's so interesting, like how the patting motions, because I'm kind of just more swoop it on. But when he put it on with the brush, I could just feel this like tapping motion. And it really is a lot like stippling it on and just very making it blendable, right? And so this takes practice, but after, like, you could even like screenshot this picture right now, and then as you're doing your makeup, even after doing it for a few days to a week, you'll have it memorized of where for your eye shape. And if you're not sure on your eye shape, ask someone to say, hey, are my eyes, and if you're not really sure, they're probably standard because if they're close set, wide set, deep set, or hooded, right? Or Asian. So that's the difference. So if you're not quite sure, they're most likely standard, or you can ask a friend to say, hey, what are the shape of my eyes? So number 1 is the highlight that you put on. For most of them, it's just on the eyelid. Only the hooded, do you just use a teeny bit below the eyebrow and a teeny bit above the eyelashes in the center there. Deep set, you use most of it on that eyelid. And then with the Asian, it's right above or right below the eyebrow. And then with the mid-tone color, and wherever you put the brush first is where the most color goes. And I want to show the different brushes actually. So back to number 1. One thing I absolutely love about our brushes is they say what they're for. So this is all over eyeshadow. And so this goes, majority of it will go all over. So this is number 1 for your highlight, for your lightest color. Then number 2 is your mid-tone. And this one is the eye crease. So I love, again, that the brush tells you where to put it. So number 2, as you can see, is kind of right there in the eye crease and a little above. Where you put the brush first is where the most color goes. So after I have the color on the brush, I like to tap the brush, and that way it gets off the excess, and then I have less excess on my face after putting it on. And I start on the outside, and you just kind of, like I said, like kind of stipple it in, coming in about halfway. Lately, I've been doing a lot of my number 2 and 3 kind of just in the same spot, creating kind of a smoky eye look, but 2 basically will go in the crease there. And then the third one, which this brush, if you have brushes similar to these, you might not have these exact ones, but these are pretty standard eye brush shapes. This one's called the Eye Smudger, and this is the last color I do. This is the accent color, and it's round, and it's a little more dense, and that helps with that dark color as you're stippling it in. And I always like to use less of the dark. You can always go back and add more if you want, but I think it's easier to start with less and add more if you need it, but always tap the brush. And wherever you put the brush first is where the most color goes. I think with pretty much all of the eyes, you'll want to start on the outside because it's okay if it's a little darker. The only one with that maybe doesn't quite matter is the wide set, where you're adding darker kind of in the center there to help your eyes look closer together. So that's where you want to put it, because it makes a difference. If you start in the center, it's not going to look the same. If you start on the outside, have a little darker on the outside, it's going to look usually a lot nicer. So practice that tomorrow when you're putting on your eye makeup, and where you're going to start and end and tap the brush. Then the final step I do after all 3 steps, grab that same first brush. It looks like this, and then it's the all over eyeshadow. And this one had the lightest color on it. So usually I don't even really dust off because it has the lightest on it anyway. And then I go in upward motion over the entire eyelid as this nice blending technique. Or separately, we have a brush you can order separately. It doesn't come in the brush collection, but it's our eye blending brush. And it's really fluffy. It's more fluffy than this brush. I've been considering actually adding it to my own, because I just use the brush collection. So I have the brushes that go in there, but I'm like, I should use that, because one of my customers was asking about the other day, and I was showing her it, and I'm like, why don't I use this? Because this looks amazing. So each brush can be sold separately too. They're each $12 for the eyeshadow brushes. And then even that blending brush can be sold separately. And that one's just super, it's just really, it's kind of a round shape, but it's super fluffy, if that makes sense. So those are the different brushes. So that's the final step, is that blending step at the end, going over both eyelids. And sometimes, you know, if you feel like you have it too harsh on, you can take your fingers just very gently, and it's amazing how you can blend so easily with your fingers. That's a good sign of makeup, that it's blendable and easy. And then when you want it to come off, we have our number 1 selling product, our oil-free eye makeup remover. And they improved the formula about a year and a half ago. Can't remember. I think it was a year and a half ago. I think it'll be 2 years next August. The improvement has even made it so much faster to come off too. So as a cleaner and a conditioner, you shake it up so it's mixing that cleaner and conditioner, and then you put it on a cotton ball, hold it there. I know Ruth Grangroth is like a huge fan of this. You hold it there, let it soften off the eye makeup, and then just gently rub away the rest. This cleans off waterproof makeup as well. And it's just to give you an idea of how powerful this thing is, but still so gentle for your eye area. We went to California a few years ago, and Josie stepped in some tar on the beach. And I don't know if you ever stepped in tar or had tar on you, but it's like impossible to get off. We get back to the hotel room. We're trying to wash it off in the tub. It's not coming off. And then I thought, my eye makeup remover mascara must be like tar, right? And I shake it up and it comes off. And I was so grateful, because we were getting tar like in the hotel tub. And I was like, oh, the housekeeping is going to hate this. But I was able to clean it off the tub. And I just had my little mini. So I was trying to be like super frugal, because I'm like, this is going to last me the rest of the trip. And yeah, anyway, so I love oil-free eye makeup removers. Great for cleaning off your eye makeup and when your kids step in tar. But, and that one lasts me 3 months using every single night before bed. So I talked about the different eye colors, like eyeshadow colors based on your eye color and what can help your eyes pop out. And maybe you already use similar colors to that, but maybe it's something new that you want to try. And of course, we have like 30 different eyeshadow colors, so you can mix and match and play around with a bunch of them. And then we talked about where to put the brushes, what brushes to use for what eye color, and based on your eye shape, where to put them. So I hope that's answered a lot of questions. I'm going to wrap up and share my favorite eyeliner of ours and mascara. And so my absolute favorite eyeliner is our liquid eyeliner. And I used to always be intimidated by liquid, because I thought, oh my gosh, that sounds like I have to be so precise and so careful. But this one makes it so easy to do so. It's this super fine tip, and it's very sturdy. And it's like liquid, so it doesn't tug. It goes on very smoothly. So I like that a lot. It's also waterproof. And I usually just do a thicker one on the top and then as thin as possible on the bottom. Currently, I'm wearing the Lash Intensity mascara. That one is the most like chunky, kind of volumizing mascara. I've really enjoyed that one. We also have our Great Heights mascara that just launched in February, and I use that for 3 months and I absolutely love that too. It helps the lashes look longer, has thinner little bristles, which are also nice and easy to get for the bottom lashes too. And Panorama is amazing. I love, I have so many customers on waterproof. I need to retry that one again, because last time I tried it, it was like 10 years ago and had a different brush, and I wasn't a fan of it, but I think I like the new one because it's, again, that tiny thinner bristle. So kind of to complete the look, doing an eyeliner and mascara. And that's the order of application. I do the eyeshadows, eyeliner, mascara, and then I finish like the rest of my makeup. Because sometimes, even though you tap, sometimes you still get, eyeshadow down here. So I like to wipe that up. And they sell products, not in Mary Kay, but they sell, like, I think they're called eyeshadow patches that you put here. And then you put on your eyeshadow and then you take it off. And that way it has all the excess color that came off of it. And then you wrap up with your foundation or CC cream and your blush and contour. So that's a little about the eye makeup tips and tricks and some ways to use those brushes. So right now what we're going to do is add our wheel of names to the board. I'm going to spin this and we're going to find out what our gift with purchase is. Hang on. There we go. Okay. And we don't need the ads. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. And let's find out what the gift with purchase is. Ooh, so fun. I just had this on my desk and then I figured what it is. So we have another away. So mini hand lotion. So by ordering from your beauty consultant tonight, or if you're watching the replay this day, I guess, you are going to get a mini hand lotion. So please text her as a reminder and say, hey, remember, I get a mini hand lotion, because sometimes, we forget, we have good intentions. But yeah, so that's the mini hand lotion is the gift with purchase. And then I'm going to give you a chance to think about who do you know and love that you'd love to refer to a free treatment. And I was a referral. And one of my good girlfriends from college referred me to a free treatment. And I'm so grateful she did. She had no idea I was struggling with infertility. She had no idea this is like exactly what I needed. And anyway, she was trying to get some free product, right? And she luckily came across my name in her phone. So this gives you a moment to think about who you'd love to refer to a free treatment and write their name down on a piece of paper. I'm trying to find a pen here. Must have ran away. And you can either write their name down on a piece of paper with their number and text a picture of it to your beauty consultant. And as she's working on doing 100 free facials, that's a huge help. Or you can just text her the numbers like right from your phone or whatever. These treatments can be shared with you. So if you want to share like a beauty treatment, microderm treatment, or a hydrogel eye patch treatment, or a customized makeover like we just talked about, and get together with a girlfriend, that's always fun. If you prefer more one-on-one, that's probably me. You can, do that, or she can choose to have her appointment one-on-one, or even do it online. If they don't live local, these referrals can live anywhere in the United States. In fact, we are working on facialing someone in every single state. And so that would be fun to think about, hey, do I know anyone who lives in Vermont or whatever? So that is a state I'm looking to facial, actually. So, but you can, so think about anyone you love that has skin. That's important. And that you'd like to refer. So I'll give you a moment to think about who you want to refer. If you have not typed your name in the chat, make sure you do that right now, because as soon as I'm done writing this, we're going to do our final giveaway. So here you guys might want some music. I'll play some music for you. Here we go. Okay. So hopefully you see your name on the wheel. If you don't, you have a chance to type your name in the comments before we do our giveaway. And just want to make sure I have everyone. Okay, so this is just for guests. And as we wrap up, I want to show these different compacts that we have. One thing I love about Mary Kay is they're very conscientious about the environment. And so their compacts are designed so that once you purchase a compact, you should never need a new one because you can just replace the colors in here. So this one, all the eyeshadows come individually. They're magnetic, and so you can completely customize your compact to the colors you want. This one's my favorite. It's called our Perfect Palette. I love the name of that because I think it is perfect. First of all, it's absolutely gorgeous. But then it holds 3 eyeshadows, a blush, a highlighter, and a bronzer. So this is my travel makeup compact, because then it's easy to travel with, and I just have exactly what I need. Then what I use every day is the Pro Palette. This one's $20 unfilled. I think this one's $26, but consultants, you can correct me if I'm wrong because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's 26 or around that. This can hold every single eyeshadow. So this is what I like to do because I like to play with different eyeshadows, and that way I can experiment and let people know honest my true opinion, right? So every single eyeshadow it can hold, plus blush, highlighter, and bronzer. It doesn't have a mirror, which at first I was a little bummed about. I'm like, why doesn't this have a mirror? But I really just use my own bathroom mirror anyway, because it's bigger. So, and I don't travel with this one because it's just so big. So I don't travel with that one. And then our brush collection, and brushes are, I think, the biggest, trick to having your eyeshadow going so smoothly. So I love this brush collection. It has 3 different eyeshadow brushes. They all say what they're for. And then a blush brush and a powder brush. You can always get things individually too, but when you get it as a collection, it comes with the bag. That zips up super nicely. So I love that. And I have a little special about this too. I'll share in a minute. So that is everything there. So as we wrap up, I'm going to show a little about the prices. Let me remove that, add that. Okay. And on this page, make it as big as possible. And we'll text this picture to you as well right after. So the top part is love your skin. And if you want your makeup to look like a 10, your skincare needs to be an 11. So skincare is the most important part for your skin looking good. The better your skin looks, the less makeup you feel like you need, and the better your makeup goes on, right? So that's absolutely important. But today, since we just talked about eye makeup tips and tricks, looking down at the Love Your Look, we talked about our oil-free eye makeup remover, mascara, and eyeliner. That was before I started Mary Kay. That's all I used with makeup was mascara and eyeliner, and then of course washing it off before bed, having an eye makeup remover. So I love that set. It's just a great basic. And then if you're wearing foundation, you love Flawless foundation set with a foundation primer, foundation brush, which also makes your foundation go on so smoothly. And then you can get your foundation matched by your beauty consultant if you haven't done that already. So text her the word match if you want to get a match with your foundation. We talked about the professional brush collection, luscious lips. We didn't really focus on that today, but I love our lip glosses, and we're coming out with something very new in a week. You'll know about it. I can't tell you yet, but we're coming out with a new limited edition lip product. And then we have finishing set, which is our finishing spray, a powder, translucent loose powder. I love our pressed powder too. And that's a brush that helps it go on smoothly. And then Dash Out the Door, where that has our liquid eyeshadow, a blush, mascara. I love eyeliner. I can't go without eyeliner, but and there's an under eye corrector and lip gloss in there. So that's a little about that. So yay, welcome, Sarah. So glad you're here. So that's a little about that. We do have specials at the top. So if you're like, okay, I want the eye candy, the Flawless, I want the brush. And we don't have like the eyeshadow one, but you can customize your own set and have like the compact of your choice with the eyeshadows of your choice and the blush of your choice. If you want to have blush in there, you don't have to fill up the whole compact either. If you want to start with, a couple of the colors, and then you can always add more. I've had customers do that as well. So on the top part, the Princess, Queen, and Cadillac, that's the specials. So when you're getting multiple sets, when you pick out 4 sets on the page, you only pay $1.99, and you get our travel roll-up bag as a gift. And I love how this bag hangs up in my bathroom. It's this almost as tall as me, but that's not saying much. But this is the roll it bag. I love that it hangs up in my bathroom. Not only does it keep everything organized in here, like skincare or makeup, but it organizes my body care, like deodorant or shower gels and travel size shampoo and conditioner. And then if I'm going somewhere and I just need a couple of them, you can rip them out. And when my husband says, hey, let's go to Fiji this weekend, just waiting for him to say that, I am so ready. Like, I've been ready for 15 years. So I know we'll go to Fiji at some point. But yeah, so that is the travel roll bag. And I'm all packed. Plus, it makes packing for trips so easy because I have all my travel size stuff in there, my travel size skincare, all this travel size shampoo and conditioner and all that. So then my deodorant's already in there and I use that every day. And I'm just, putting it right back in. And that way, when I go on a trip, I'm not like, oh, crap, I forgot my deodorant, because it's right in there. It's already. So anyway, so that's a little about the travel roll it bag. And then our best kept secret is our starter kit. And right now it's only $35 to start Mary Kay, which is such a low cost startup. With the $35, you get some samples, you get a website, you get a catalog, and you get the ability to process debit and credit cards. And then there's an optional add-on that if you want to get full-size products, it's $90 and you get $450 of full-size products. I counted them up. Plus you get these color cards for different brown eyes, blue eyes, hazel, green. Then you get some other samples in it, plus a gorgeous bag. That's an optional add-on. You can either use those products yourself, you can use them to sell. What I did with those is that's what I demoed with when I was first starting out my business and doing practice facials. Those are my demos. And then the second thing is when we do order from Mary Kay, minimum order is $225. So we get a hand select $450 retail, whatever we want. We just pay half of that. So I always like to share that up front so that you know that. But the beautiful part is we can help do a launch party because that order doesn't have to be all from you, right? You can think of other people. And then the last thing is you only have to order once a year to remain a consultant. And for me, I didn't know if I like Mary Kay or be any good at it. And so probably the only reason I decided to give it a try was knowing that if I didn't like it, there was a 90% buyback guarantee that Mary Kay offers. So that's the beautiful part about the starter kit is, this is not for everyone, right? I feel like the women who I've seen join recently are looking for something flexible, extra income. They're looking around, like today, me and Rachel are talking to her mom, and she's like, girlfriends, like meeting new people. And that's been a real reason for people to join in the last 5 years since 2020, because they crave that connection. And then as I get closer to the age 40, I love 50% off on my skincare, 100%, because this is the first thing people see. This is the first thing I see every morning, and feeling more confident about my skin is priceless. So, but I love that it's 50% off. So anyway, so that's a little about the starter kit. So if you're interested in that, and I do a signing bonus of the brush collection by joining tonight, you get a free brush collection because I believe every woman deserves a really good quality brush collection. So that's the bonus. Okay. So I don't think I've seen any new names. Sarah's a consultant. So sorry, Sarah, you already get amazing prizes already. So, so let's remove that, add this, and I'm just going to double check the Facebook group, and because I would hate to miss somebody. So if you don't see your name and you're a guest, type your name in. You have like 5 seconds. So, okay, let's shuffle it up. Okay. Sorry, I'm like paranoid that I'm going to miss someone, but okay. I think I have everyone on here. Let's spin the wheel and find out what our gift with purchase. This is the winner. So, and it's Ruth. Yay, Ruth. Yay. So Ruth is winning our crystalline eyeshadow. I'll get this in the mail to you, Ruth. Congratulations. Oh, I love you, Ruth. Congratulations. So excited for you. So, and next, yes, Sarah says, exactly. I'm already a lucky girl. Yes, so true. Next week's class. Oh man, what is it? Okay. Oh my gosh. It's the new summer launch. So, and I told you there's a lip product that I'm dying to share with you guys because it is so pretty. So you're welcome, Ruth. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for being on. So tune in next week. That's the 15th, and we'll be talking about all the new stuff that's available on the 15th. You guys get to find out about it the very first day. So glad that worked out that way. So hope to see you next week. Have an awesome rest of your night, and text your consultant, let her know that you finished watching this. Bye.